It is a rainforest morning here today in the Pacific Northwest. Hey, thanks for hitting play on this video if you did so. Kevin here, also known as Kev, of course. Welcome to the Grounded Ether Studio. I, today, am making some homemade frames for some of my photography. A little bit of a tear I've been on recently. Just wanted to show you an example of one I did recently. This one's called the Silver Fly, all homemade. All those materials there are street junk that I foraged off the street, stuff like that. So it is Saturday morning, still very early, and I am motivated to do a couple today. Actually, let me go back over here and show you what I got going on. This photo of violets is really speaking to me. Got three others here I'm not sure about yet. Looking for that inspiration. And I found some watercolor paper that I may be doing a watercolor and mounting a photo onto. So that may happen. And of course I've got my colored poster boards, my presentation board for proper mounting, and actually even construction paper. My collection are a lot of my street junk and all these industrial metal bits, scrap wires, stuff like that. Watercolors, fresh copper wire, sticks and branches, all sorts of scrap lumber around here. Oh, for anyone who's not seen any of this photographic work I've done, here's a couple of examples of frames that I've made involving sticks, like a photo hanging from a stick or a photo frame with sticks. So that's what we got going. So I wanted to show you, before I hit pause and get to work here, this watercolor paper I found at an art supply store. It's just handmade paper that is recycled paper fibers, and I believe this is made by a collective in India. That's what they told me. So I may be doing a watercolor and mounting onto here, and I have some ideas about that. So we'll see how all that plays out. It is just slightly after 8 a.m. and I got all day, so I'll be checking back with you once I start making some progress. Okay, here's my color scheme for the violet, or the violets. I really like this, the violet and lime green construction paper in there, and it looks like I'm going to be framing this with some sticks, going organic with it. So y'all, a little update. The photo frame with the violets that I just showed you, that turned out to be a complete disaster on several fronts. So that is scrapped and we're going to be moving on to something else. But that's what we do here. We experiment with things and we learn from it. If it doesn't work, we augment or adjust, or we move on to something else. Construction paper used for photo frames like this, not a good material, too flimsy. Okay, well, I spoke too soon on that. It was salvageable after all. I just needed to let go of my original idea and adjust. So this is what I came up with, which I think is rather beautiful, actually. So this is where I detail it out. I've mounted the photo onto black presentation board, which is mounted onto gray, dark gray presentation board. I like that color combination, using double tack mounting paper. And this is the plywood backing, which I've cut, sanded, and painted with this deep gray color, which is a close approximation of the presentation board there. Not exact match, but it's good enough. This paint color is actually called zinc, one of my favorite color tones, actually. So, and then the presentation board with the photograph is going to get mounted onto the plywood using mounting paper. And once that is done, attaching the branches, which act as a frame, a decorative frame. Now these are irregular in shape, and this is where it gets precarious. So what I'll be doing is drilling small pilot holes in the back of the plywood and small pilot holes into the branches, and then using some clamps and a screwdriver and some delicate work, I'm going to be screwing screws into the branches to hold them in place. And these are some examples of the screw sizes I'll be using. Smaller ones, some slightly larger. Oh, and I'll be back a little bit later for final looks. In the meantime, I'm going to work on mounting these daylilies onto this homemade watercolor paper, which I'm going to paint with some combination of these watercolors right here. I had an idea this morning when I was pouring out some watercolors in the sink, and they all swirled together, sort of like a kaleidoscopic kind of idea. Well, I had the idea of mixing up some watercolors in this tray here, different colors, and just pouring them out onto the canvas and seeing what happens. I'm going to try to live shot this because that might be very interesting and fun to watch. We'll see what happens. Okay, here we go. This is the setup I got for you. Most exciting thing happening today. Watercolor pour. I don't know what to do, so let's just do that. That is not what I saw in the sink. Swirling colors. They all just blended together into a big blob of yellow-gray. There's got to be a better way to pour, though. That's the thing. Well, we'll start with that.